So from here, what we'll be doing is installing our hardware and electronics and then doing a setup on the guitar so it plays well. So we'll pop the guitar back up on the bench and we'll start talking about installing hardware. Always want to drill pilot holes when we're using small screws like this. The reason being, unless you drill a pilot hole first and make it a little bit easier for the screw to go in, you're running a risk of stripping the screws. So obviously never use a power drill for installing these tiny screws in the hardware either. So the next item we'll be installing will be our strap buttons. So strap buttons, again, as the name implies, are the buttons for a strap. So on an LP style guitar like this, you normally have one inserted at the bottom of the guitar and one just in the center of the upper bout. So typically find center line across the body, mark down using a set square or something like that. Now again, obviously drill a pilot hole using a 5/64 inch or similar drill bit. And then with the strap buttons themselves, in your packaging, you'll generally find it assembled like this. So you'll have a small rubber padding that sits under the button like so. The screw goes through and it should look like that. Then we'll install. In your packaging, you'll find the 4 bushings. One of them, generally the bushing on this side nearest the F hole, also contains an earth wire. So before you put this in place, it's very important that you find the earth wire in your packaging. It would generally be a black coated PVC coated wire. You need to, if it's not already, strip the end off a little bit, feather the wires out. The wires basically need to sit hard against the outside of this bushing. So what I would normally do, as you can see, the wire's already in place here. You'll notice a small hole in the side of one of these holes for the bushing. So you'll thread that earth wire through and then feather out the individual wires at the end here, and then you'll install this bushing while keeping that wire hard up against it. So basically it's able to earth out on the bushing itself. So the last piece of hardware we want to install are our tuning pegs. Just make sure your tuner is ready to go. Hand tighten for now. That's really all you need to do. Okay, so I'm just hand tightening these so they're a little bit easier to keep in place. As you can see, I've already drilled the pilot holes here, but again, same process as before. Come along with a smaller drill bit and drill your pilot holes. Now, what I like to do, just using a steel ruler, is just to ensure the alignment's correct on these. They should all align nicely, and once you've got those in place, just come along again with a small tool or something like that and quickly mark and then drill your pilot holes. So as I said, these pilot holes are already in place, so I'm just going to drill these, just going to screw these small screws in place. Now that the tuners are in place, I'll just come along with my socket here and just hand tighten those. And that's pretty much our hardware installed.